Good morning and welcome back. Today I'm still on the Sandpaper Solitary, and I'm going to be that way for a long time. Now, some of these knives I'm going to, I've got a final grind, a bunch of them. But when they get done to their final grinding and everything else like that, when it comes to sandblasting, or when it comes to the finishing on them, I'm going to sandblast some of them and then dip them in ferric to see what happens. And if I can get a good finish out of that, that's what I'll do. And instead of sitting here for hours on end hand sanding. That was one of the big things about getting the sandblaster and or the cabinet, and then pick up pieces here and there. But here is I just wanted to show you a technique. I believe I've showed it to you before, but I don't remember. I've slept since then. But anyway, when I hand sand like this, you can see I put some marks on it right there, and there's some other marks in here when I get it in the light. And I'll take my magic marker and I'll get it in a good light and find where the scratches are not leaving so much. Now for heavy scratches, I really will paint it up. But where's scratches in here that I'm not getting out, hadn't got out yet from going from one grit to another, I always try to go when I'm going start out with a rough grit. And this the side right here, I'll probably go to 100 on it. Yeah, well, that's what I've been doing, starting at 100. I go 100, 120, 180, 220, 320, and 500 just to straighten it up. But doing this, when you can get it in the light, because the light ain't always the best right where you're hand sanding at. Even though you do shine a light on it, you get it out and roll it around, you can see the scratches in it. And if you mark it like this, some of this black will go down in the scratches. And once it goes down in the scratches, any superficial will come off. And those down in there, you can still see because they'll be black. Now, they're not going to be monstrous deep. They're not going to be like the Colorado River running through the Grand Canyon. They won't be that kind of scratches. I hope not anyway. But anyway, even if they are, that right there will show you where you need to concentrate on your hand sanding. And you get all that out of it. And you got to check for your divots when you're grinding. Now the divots where you're grinding is you'll not put the blade up to your platen or up to your belt or whatever with even pressure, and one side or the other. Usually it's the one out toward the tip where you get a little deviance right there, and you put a little dip in it, and you can't feel it, but it's a slight. You can't feel the depth of it or anything. You can't really even feel it. It's so shallow. But you can see it in the right light. That's the reason I have all of these bulbs in here are fluorescent or LED, but they're daylight, in the daylight spectrum. And they're all like 5,000 K or something like that. So I like to keep the daylight here so that you can see it. Even and early in the morning, like it is right now, my window right here is set on a east by south axis. It just is. I mean, it wasn't planned that way or anything. It just is. And from the time I was a boy till now, here, if I was getting up and going to school, where I stood and waited on the bus of a morning, and where the sun come up at, when I was a young man, a young boy, from that time till now, being how I've been on this property nearly all of my life. Let's see, moved here and I was moved here in 72, and I was born in 63. I was 9 years old. So from 9 years old, I've been on this place all but 2 years. Since then. But anyway, long story short is, from where I stood to catch a bus every morning has not changed. That has not changed, not 1 inch. It's still right there. But the position of the sun is kind of shifted a little bit. It's like we're in a wobble. The Earth's it's not a true single axis that spins this way. The axes rotate a little bit, like a gyroscope running out of juice. And it makes the top of it go like that. So that changes the angle of attack on the sun coming up and setting. It don't come up exactly where it was when I was a boy, and it don't set over the mountain where it used to set as when I was a young man or a boy of 9, 10, 12, and on like that. It's kind of different. It's not much. It's not 500 miles. My goodness, it's probably 100 foot, maybe. From, instead of going across in a gap of a mountain, it's going across on the mountain. And the mountain's not changed. It's still the same height as it was, they knocked the top off it and built the tower in 53. So, and the tower's not shrunk any, and they've not built it up any, jacked it up or anything. So, yeah, that's, since 1953, the top of the mountain's been right at the same level. They put some gravel on there, hiding the centerpiece in it, which is a brass placard that the U.S. Forest Service put with directions on it and everything, and gives the coordinates of it in minutes and seconds and angles and all that, latitude and longitude. It gives all of its corresponding numbers for that, so you can find it. But anyway, that was a tangent for the sunlight. So that's what I do, is try to get that and get like that, so I can start hand sanding, and I know where I need to spend a little more time there. And I went to a little piece of wood instead of my other one over there, because it's so wide, it's so long that when you get a hold of it, that you can rock it like this. And it's not been doing exactly, and it's wore where I've been using it that so much. It's got a saddle wore in it, a dip wore in it right in there, so, and right in here. So I decided that if it's going to do that, I was just going to use a piece of wood for right now till I fix that. And I'll just cut a piece of rubber and cut another piece of rubber and glue on it a little wider this time. Try to true the edges up a little better on it so I can get right in the corners with it. And it served me well. So, but anyway, I'm going to use the wood. So that was just a trick about the magic marker, getting down in the deeper scratches there that you can see. and because sometimes you cannot see the deep scratches because of the angle of the light. They just suck into the background, and with a magic marker on them, that kind of gives them a highlight. So anyway, if there's more, I like I said the other day, I built yesterday. I finished building my personalizer etcher machine. And you could go to Redbeard Ops website or his YouTube channel and look for his video on building one, and he can show you how to build it and everything, and give you a parts list of what you need and everything else like that. And I put mine in way too big of a plastic box, so now I need to put a handle on it. I'm just going to use probably just regular nylon, like strapping that they use to strap lumber down with, and pop rivet it to it, so that way I can move it around. And because this box is supposed to be waterproof, and it is screwed down and everything else. So, and I did not film me making mine at all. I mean, at all. I am by no means an expert at doing that. I followed his instructions, and the only thing that I found, either I misread them or copied them down or whatever like it, misdrawed it. But I put the light switch, I put the light on the wrong side of the power switch. I don't know why I done it, but I did. I put it on the top when it's in the on, or put it on I put it in the power. I put it on the bottom where the power goes to in the off position, so when you plug it up, the light would come on. So I had to move that one wire up to the top so that it would, like that. So anyway, that was nothing to move that, and just change it. It's probably my fault, but anyway, go to Redbeard Ops YouTube channel and research a metal etcher on his channel, and I think he built it 2 or 3 years ago, so it's one of the older videos, but the parts list and everything he gives you pretty much still works on Amazon, and that's where I got most of it from, was Amazon. Some of them with the dual power, the AC and DC, run about, I don't know, almost $400, 3 something to 400, shipping and handling and all this other stuff, and you can build it for less than 200. So anyway, so if you can build something half price, why would you want to buy it if you can build it just as good? May not be as pretty as theirs, but still, you know, $200, $200, you know, goes a long way in getting everything done, getting your acids, your sandpapers, and everything else. So, well, anyway, that was just a little sanding tip there. I don't remember. I may have showed it in something else, but I don't believe I just absolutely just put it out as a straight tip. But anyway, that's how I do it right there to help me. And maybe it'll help you too on your, well, I mean, it won't hurt you. Anything. It's not like it's going to jump up and bite you or anything. The magic marker, I mean. Now the knife, like I said, remember, will cut the end of your finger off. I have to constantly dull these things. Take a wet rock, take my, yeah, right there it is. I'll keep it laying right there. right there, this little diamond stone. And I use that fish hook sharpener right there in the center, and I just run it around the edge every once in a while just to keep it from getting so sharp hand sanding. And was asked, and he said, how do I get that edge on there? I said, well, he said, do you grind your edge all the way down to start with? I said, no. I said, if anything, I'll do a secondary bevel on the belt grinder, but most of the time it's down thin enough that I can just do it with a wet rock and be done with it, and not have to take it back to the belt to sand with, to hand sand, or to grind, to sharpen. So I just do it by hand with the wet rocks, because the way I hand sand, I make sure that I get all the way down to the edge of the blade, make sure it's two. So that's the reason I am constantly dulling this thing. Try to keep it about 5 to 10 thousandths thick, so it won't. So hopefully it'll just bruise you, not cut you. Because when they get sharp, they get sharp, and when you're pulling and pushing on sandpaper like that, you're subject to lose a digit if you don't. I mean, anything can happen. If it can go wrong, it will sometimes. So if somebody's never been cut while hand sanding, then they're not really hand sanding. I don't think. Anyway, I can't get out of it any. And I've been hand sanding for years. Used to keep antibiotics out here, but I'm out. So I have to go back to the doctor and get some more just for the cuts. I keep plenty of black tape, and I got a box of paper towels down there. So yeah, so that's my Band-Aids. Well, I've got Band-Aid. Well, I had Band-Aid. Cut my finger yesterday sharpening a knife. Hand sanding a knife. I cut my finger. Cut this one. It's in the glove, but it's got a Band-Aid and a piece of tape wrapped around it. So anyway, yeah, I got one more Band-Aid. One more. So it's out of the pack. So it's about time for me to get a new box out here. So anyway, I've rambled on. I've given enough balloon juice here to go along with this tip. So anyway, hope you have a good one. It's a fantastic day to be alive. Every day is. So till next time, it's Bobby Shill saying, God bless.